insightful dialogues happening on this platform. And I would really like to thank Sandeep Kulkarni ji for linking us all here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yash. That was a really inspiring one. Now, I will, it's actually too late right now, but yeah, I'd like to request Mr. Manish Kothari, please to summarize this thing and conclude this, the presentation made by the panels.
So, good evening. I've been listening quietly. First to the youth who are so energetic is I feel that whether I'm a mechanical engineer or not, I could not figure out because jitne bhi terms they were using, I had forgotten. So I would really appreciate Prasad, Karthik and Akash for putting all those presentations, putting a lot of hard work and energy. To a professional presenter, probably they may look very long drawn, but I have gone through this process and it takes time for us to adjust ourselves. So don't worry if there is some feedback whether the presentation was long or short or whether it is meaningful. It's a process, and your stepping out and sharing itself is one of a very big step. And it's, as I always say, that participation is the first step to moving ahead. So I would congratulate all the three. Yash is a very mature, he is between a youngster and a matured person. So I don't know whether to call him a youngster or not. And I was called a youngster, so I also shifted into that.
Sir, I would think in thoughts you are the youngest of us, all of us combined.
So there was a learning which I got about presentation in 2015, which I can never forget. I was asked to speak about my innovation for 60 seconds, and I could not finish my introduction in 60 seconds. And from there, in last 3 years, I've been trying to put my thoughts together better and better. But when I see the youth, the way the presentations have been done and the amount of information they have gathered, it's very inspiring. And Dynamic Foundry Group bringing them over here and giving the space to the youth itself is, I would say, kudos to the thought process itself, because without giving a platform, it's not possible to inspire the youth also. I was also given a platform. Yash, you have also been given a platform. You are all both born in entrepreneurial families, but when I look at the youth who have come through the process and working from bottom up, there are not so many opportunities, and this kind of opportunity would definitely inspire more youth to say, okay, there is a platform on which we can talk. We don't have to be excellent in our presentation. It's the so when I see your eyes or when we see your intensity, that itself shows us how committed you are to the Foundry, and that's the most important part of this. And you are still not worried about whether you'll get more money, not money, comparing with different industries. So even my journey into the Foundry was not related to money, though after 25-30 years now I do understand that money is also important. So the example which was given of Ikigai, connecting only 2 circles, I would rather like see if you can read that book and try to see how to get all the 4 circles together and balance it. And what I could hear from Yash was finding the balance of all the 4. So the youth today, with their cross learning and readiness to digitally transform, is a very important step for us to become competitive and resilient. What I would suggest is to keep getting youth onto the platform and share their views, so that we can see our generation getting inspired and motivated to move further. because the foundry industry will need a lot of youth. There is no doubt about it. The understanding of TPM, the understanding of digital transformation, culture, quality, all this has will require a huge shift in the way we work. And somewhere I was reading that you're talking of attitude, you're talking of culture, the way we look at things. And yes, what you really got from Toyota, that quality department is not there. This is something which I have been trying to do in my own system. It's not very easy to change the mindset in India that the transaction wherever the transaction is happening, the inspector and the buyer both, I mean, that becomes your inspection point. And that actually is coming from a very deep understanding of why culture at all levels is important, at from bottom to top. It's not only the top needs to have that culture that I need high quality, but to empower and enable the youth to not only understand quality, but also have the right tools, the authority, along with the responsibility with which they can implement, with what again you said, that link it to the financial elements, get into different departments, understand the impact of quality on cost. So the speed at which the youth is learning today, I'm sure if we are giving them exposure, we can transform our industry and get both volume and value levels changed in India. So actually Yash has summarized a lot of things. I don't have to repeat a lot of things which when you're talking of supply chain, value chain, connecting. And one of the things which I would be looking forward to at some point of time is stitching these value chains together and see how we can connect with each other, how we can build that trust matrix. Because if I have to work with Yash, for example, we need to have a trust with each other and have that transparency with each other, which somehow in our country is not very strong. And that relationship has to grow if we as a country have to grow. Somehow this transformation, I see it is happening, but some forum or some, so for example, Dynamic Foundry Group today has been able to bring a lot of transparency and sharing. But how can we make this as a movement? How we can get the youth to take this forward? So let us say Prasad has a lot of knowledge on a certain area. Can his knowledge be used in a foundry in northern India? Can the knowledge go across the country and not be restricted to only one foundry? We have a lot of talent, we have a lot of knowledge, and there's a lot of energy. So if the youth can come together and we are able to bring this dynamism and transparency together, I think we can do a lot. So Sandeep ji and the team of DFG, it's an excellent connection, and we should continue to do this maybe every 15 days. 3 young youth, young Turks, as we say, come together, share their views, and allow them to interact with all of us. And we as people who I'm young at mind, but I'm looking at exiting the business maybe in 5-10 years. So there are a lot of people who would like to transfer what they have learned. And if we are able to bridge this gap, I think we'll have a lot of knowledge put inside our country. So thank you. And Prayut, maybe you can take it forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable inputs. And yes, as you rightly said, it has been really a good combination of all the panelists and for sharing their views and the knowledge. Now we will take up the question answers. So basically, if anyone has questions, please raise the hand in your from the system, and Kulkarni sir will unmute them and they can ask the question. Meanwhile, Kulkarni sir has shared the feedback on poll. We request you all to please give the feedback so that this can be used for improving things in further. And any questions? I got one question for Mr. Yash. What are the 3 top major challenges you see as a young foundry entrepreneur under current scenario, and how one should deal with it?
Hello. Prayut bhai, we were talking about TPM, and I was just messaging someone that for us foundry owners right now, TPM means timely payment matters, because we are living in a situation right now wherein we all are cash strapped, and obviously forget, like I said, we should not leverage ourselves. Forget about leveraging ourselves. The cash flows has been deeply affected. And our customers are also not for blame for that, because it's the entire cycle which is working very slowly. So if we can manage our cash better, if we can smoothen our, if we can get customers to pay against LCs, and we can discount it if possible, not a feasible option for regular business, but if that could be done, and such things is one of the biggest challenge. And second one is labor problem which we have right now. Honestly, it is something which is affecting all of us to a certain level or more. But we didn't people are talking now about all safety measures and improving condition or pay scale, but why the hell did we need a pandemic to do that in the first place, right? We should have been thinking about it, at least the younger generation, and making some changes at least at par with the industry standard, if not more. So these are the 2 things which I think is very challenging for us. Is one thing how we manage a worker in post-COVID or even in future, and we should not depend upon such catastrophes to open our eyes. And secondly would be managing our cash for next 1 year.
Okay, thank you. We got one question for Karthik. Karthik, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prayut.
So, what do you suggest? What training or courses for the young talent is required so that the foundry can get maximum benefit out of them?
The people who are coming from quality department, they have very good scope in NDT, non-destructive testing, piping inspection.
Mm-hmm.
We lost him.
Yeah, I guess. Mr. Karthik, you there? Okay, I guess there might be some connectivity issue. Mr. Akash, meanwhile, there is a question for you also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what is the future of the person with expertise in the lean management, specifically in the foundry industries?
Actually, the lean is the only way to reduce the cost, improve the productivity. For the perspective of young engineers, we have to show results of all the lean related activities, and for young youngsters, and we have to adopt all the activities that Japanese industry in their yeah, in their country. Similarly, we can do in our areas what technology they were adopted, they are doing. Same we can horizontally deploy. There are lots of opportunities uh, for productivity and cost reduction through lean way, and through different books, online lean courses, we can improve our lean knowledges and practically apply in foundry industry for better effective of lean tools in foundry. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hello.
so basically the question is for a certain panelist only, but any one of you can also contribute to it if you have something more to add to it. I got
Ayodh,
one.
if I may, if I could answer this question, if you permit me.
Sure.
The question is, what are the steps they are taking to retain talent and to develop skills of fresher, and how are they trying to attract talent to their foundries? So, as Yash said that, and even during the discussion, uh, I see a lot of second, third generation, very few second, third generation coming into the foundry, also into the manufacturing, not only foundry, into manufacturing, because over a period of time we have not upgraded our systems and we have not made our foundry very attractive from work environment and OSAS. So we have been talking about that. And second is we don't have a system where we are able to understand what the youth needs. So one of the challenges which I faced and I have been working on is trying to understand the person who is coming into my factory or working with me. So if I were to engage a youth working in my foundry, in my company, it is like you have a child and parent relationship. Understanding the child in today's scenario is very important. We cannot work on the instruction mode to make it inclusive in somehow and try to understand the child or the person who's coming and joining and put myself in their place. So the level of empathy which we are executing today, uh, that has to go up as an owner, and that's one of the changes we as senior people in the industry have to shift, because when we were young, this was not so necessary, and we just went inside and started working. But today, the way the people are thinking, the way we are thinking is changing, and we need to adapt to this thought process. So I think to attract talent or to retain talent, we need to connect to them directly. And therefore, my question to the three, or even Pravit, including you, uh, you all are at a young age, maybe in between 25 to 35. Or, so how do you find it? Uh, do you find any difficulty to connect to experienced people in the industry? And how do you manage that? So somebody who's worked for 25, 30 years in the industry, and you want to go and give a suggestion to that person, challenging their own knowledge. What kind of challenges do you face? Anybody can answer this.
Okay, I can answer for that one. Normally, yeah, we do agree for some seasoned person in their own field. If we give some certain suggestion, it's not that easily taken, but it requires on the person credibility also who is speaking for it. So basically it requires, so it cannot happen on a first day I went to a foundry and first day I started giving a suggestions. First of all, I need to develop my own credibility or my own reputation over there in a such a way that I can suggest on certain paths. So it has to be observed, learn, and then deliver. So my take is, initially in my earlier days when I joined Foundry, not even from my senior colleagues, but even from the shop floor guys, it was something like they were taking me not seriously on certain aspects. Later on, we realized on these things, like the experience and the flow with what they have and all those things. I realized like it's not wise to go directly for the suggestion, but rather to look on an entire scenario and then to discuss. So if you are discussing with a seasoned person or a senior person, you have to look at the entire, to have a 360-degree view and to ensure that our suggestions is definitely is going to be something which can be a meaningful from our side, and then this to whoever you are suggesting, that will be taken up more seriously.
I would also like to add upon the point which Prayut Bhai just made. In Mumbai, because we have the opportunity to meet a learned person like SP Odhya sir, and we keep on bouncing off ideas with him, and like majority of us know is that he's seen a foundry industry shape change from 50s and 60s till current date. And I was discussing one brass problem with them with him. There's a brass oxidation issue in a casting, and he at that age is also saying that he's still learning about the foundry industry. So this is something which we as youngsters also have to proactively say, is that a person who has spent almost the entire life as he remembers in the industry is saying that he's still learning from the industry. So we need to keep our mind open. We should, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line, we at some level act as subject experts कि ये इसलिए हुआ रहेगा, and we know in our heart that there are so many permutation and combination which affect a defect or anything which goes wrong into a casting. So keeping an open mind, and like Manish ji also here said, ego. See, humility works both ways, not just from the younger to older, sorry, older to younger, but also from younger to older. How proactive are we in approaching them and telling them about a problem? एक बार ना बोलेंगे ना, 2 बार बोलेंगे, 3 बार बोलेंगे, 4 बार. See, everyone has a quota of saying no. These seniors also, they will get tired and they will explain it to us someday or the other. So these are two things which I think we need to keep an open mind, and we need to keep on approaching them with our problems. Yeah.
Nagesh, he has his hand raised.
Yeah, exactly. I just would like to discuss regarding this topic, that why youngsters are not coming to the foundry industry. Okay, I would like to talk on this for 2 minutes. See, basically, when we see other industries like IT or global OEM based supply chain, their Indian youngsters are doing quite well. Even Indians are becoming CEOs of the global big companies. Why not foundries? The major difference is, in foundries, the ownership given to youngsters is limited one. Now, I will tell you, when a customer is discussing financials, he will discuss only with the top people of the foundries. When he is discussing some technical issues, he will be discussing only with HODs. So it is not coming from the youngsters that they are not willing to it. It is also coming from the traditional environment of typical Asian leadership. I am saying Asian leadership. When I say Asian leadership, it is not only India. When we say Asian, it is coming to all the Asiatic nations except Japan, where there is a boss psychology. Like, okay, the psychology is like this: the boss will only talk with the customer, the boss will only visit customer, the boss will only know the financials. Now, compare this scenario with a scenario in other industries. Like, I was a foundryman. Now, if you ask me why I left foundry, okay, and why made me to leave the foundry, was the same thing. Like, at a certain point of time, the ownership in your company, within the organization, which you get in the other industries, are unfortunately not offered here. Forget about industry 4, forget about work environment. Work environment in Russian foundries are same like ours. Work environment in German foundries are comparatively lower than general manufacturing in Germany. So foundry is that type of industry. So people are not running away from foundry because of environment. People are not running away from foundry because of their only earning, I would like to say. Nowadays, if you want to if you have completed your say masters or bachelors in metallurgy, you will get more payment than what you are getting in entry level at IT. What happens is, what leverage the industry is giving. Okay, Yash, Prayut, yourself, you got leverage somehow. Don't take my words personally. Somehow, because of your traditional. But now I would like to say, what happens with the people who are on the level of Akash, Prasad, Karthik? Do they interact with customer directly? Tell me very honestly, guys. The owners, the foundry runners, on one hand, they say, okay, I would like to leverage the young talent. On the second hand, they would like to restrict, or they would like to somehow keep the business secrets with them. So unless and until I am teaching a guy that, okay, 1 mm wall thickness is affecting my cost like this, he will not think of that. Take the other industries, take IT industries. People are getting business responsibilities. Means what? You are having a project, you are developing this, and you are the responsible for P&L of that project. So the guy, he will come to know about all the requirements, all the processes regarding this project, and he will discuss with everything. He will discuss with accounts, he will discuss with logistics. This is because of his nature. Like I have said, when I have turned from, say, a foundryman to a sourcing guy, my responsibilities are single line. Those are related with the top and bottom line. And the entire freedom is given to me. You are free to work. There is nothing holy cow. Most of the time what happens is, if suppose a departmental, like one department, if there is a quality guy, he would like to learn, and he is sitting in a, say, HR processes. Okay. So many industries are not allowing this on one hand. Now, this is one point why people are not coming to the industry. Second hand is, we are always comparing a short-term revolutioners or short-term agreements. Like what? We were saying, okay, atomization is now just investment. It will not give us an ROI. Now, what happened today? You people are paying more to the operators. You people are having scarcity of the people. Many foundries are running that, okay, I am not able to, even we have read in the newspaper that I am not able to supply the parts because I am running short of manpower. Since last 10 years, at least, I am hearing every foundry consultant, every IIF, every ISO standard was telling you to make a continuous improvement. Everyone was trying to sell you the automation, these types of processes. People ignored it. वो बोलते हैं ना, प्यास लगने के बाद कुआं खोदोगे, nothing will happen. Still, people are thinking that investments in a foundry, investment in training are back. Now, I will tell you the difference. What happens when you change from foundry to other industries? The investments made on you in training are huge in other industries. I am still getting trained. One of my key areas is I have to spend X amount. When I was an employee till 2017, my target was I have to spend X amount on my individual training, because I am not able to attend trainings in the company as I am sitting 7,000 kilometers away from them. So how many foundries are doing this? So it is like this. You want fruits, very clear. You want people to be encouraged. You want people to learn. I agreed, completely fantastic. What you are providing them. Don't say environment, rusty environment, nobody. To be honest, if you visit shop floors in Germany, girls are working on melting laboratories with a dirty, dusty environment like us. And they are working more happily. So it is not clapping by one hand. The environment has to be given by the foundry, and people has to take benefit of it. Yes, you can blame them if they are not taking the benefit. If they are continuing their job, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job, definitely blame them. And if you are not giving them opportunities, don't expect from them. So I suggest the first thing is, if I would be a foundry owner, I would start giving responsibilities with a calculative risk. ये project में fail होगा, मेरा 5 लाख का नुकसान होगा, done. But he will learn a lifelong lesson. He will learn a lifelong lesson. And those types of leadership is very limited. I am still in contact with very few of the people who taught me in the foundry. Why? Because they were allowing me to take the decision. They used to back my decision. Nagesh, you have taken decision. I am with you. Okay, you are wrong. Bloody guy, you made a mistake, but I am with you. So these types of things, people have to come. So that will inspire youngsters a lot. This is what I think. Rather than giving them posh AC office, it will not. It will be a limited encouraging. But if you give them sense of ownership, it will be a long time motivational thing for them. I think so. Maybe I am too hard. Maybe I am completely wrong. It can happen. Somebody will say, bloody guy, you are completely wrong. It can happen, but these were my thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's anyone would like to add to it?
I would actually like to, if the time permits. That is, do I have a question, Pradeep bhai?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just wanted to add on to one thing to which Nagesh ji said, which actually resonated with me, is that for employees, how much do they interact with the end customer? And one of the parts of the presentation, actually, even I talked about empowering, owning up to the department. And one of the parts of the presentation was wherein he was talking about PPAP. I think Prasad was talking about it, and sorry, Mr. Karthik. And he said that if we interact with the customers and if we know eventually where the part will go, we will be able to add a lot more value than we are adding right now, which is so true. And if we look at the other side, even I have personally seen foundry owners, stopping their production team or their QC team for interacting with the customer. And I completely do not get it, because we live in a day and age wherein everyone knows everyone's customers. Even as much as you want to try hiding it, our suppliers are common, our workers most of the time move around a lot of time, from banks and from these trade exim sites and from MCA. You get the entire, I think our competitors would know better about our business than we ourselves know about our business. So let's move beyond that inhibition which we have, and actually put these guys up front, because the ideas which even I saw his presentation, I was like, why actually we do not have them go to the customer's end and see bloody where the part is being used. So that would be a great idea. Thank you, Prasad, Karthik, and Nagesh ji for bringing that out.
Yeah, I would only add to this. So what Nagesh ji said is actually something which I have been doing for last 4 or 5 years, and in the last 1.5 years, a transfer of ownership to the employees is a process which we have done through a system where we have been able to get an employee to become like an entrepreneur. So the thought of going from that entrepreneurs are not only business owners, every person in the organization is an entrepreneur, and allowing them that empowering them, as somebody wrote over here, with the right tools and handholding them to use those tools. It's not only giving the tools. A lot of times owners say, नहीं मैंने तो उसको जवाबदारी दे दिया है पूरा, but check मुझसे पूछ के sign करना. So that kind of responsibility without authority, without the right tools, without the right understanding. So we need to work on this. Nagesh ji has said very clearly, and I agree 100% with him, that it's not only the physical environment, it's also the mental environment which has to change. So Prayut, I think we are all at 8:40 now.
Yeah.
We can continue to discuss about Foundry as long as you want.
Definitely. But at least we like the part over here is, and I guess everyone will agree, like we reached to a conclusion kind of stuff. Like it's so far everyone was saying is like the environment of the foundry. It's not is basically the culprit for not bringing in the young entrepreneurs. But we feel this is the new area too that we have to explore and to ensure basically the transfer of ownership to employees, rightly said by you. This is the thing that we need to implement and check it out if that can inspire the entrepreneur, not the entrepreneur, but the foundrymen to get into this field. And I guess let me see if there is any other question. Yeah, I guess we will conclude our session over here. And thank you, Manish sir, and thank you all the panelists over here for contributing their insights into this. And we'll plan it out ahead how we can take this thing further, so as to implement and conclude it into a. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.